Yeah, I mean, if you go and read it again, we'll link up to the article itself if you want to search for it. Is the shadowy way new employees are cheating to get to the top, or the rise of shadow stand-ins. Again, we'll link it up in the notes, but just to hear some of the things that these people say and how they describe the work they do, it's just kind of gross, right? Like they've decided that they want to get one over on the man. And I think that's the mentality. I love this quote here.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Business Lunch with your host, Roland Frasier. That's me and my wonderful co-host and business partner, Ryan Deiss. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm doing exceptionally well. How about yourself?
I don't know. I'm feeling kind of shadowy, a little bit shadowy.
Oh, that's
Are you feeling shadowy at all?
the segue. No, I am kind of losing my mind a little bit. That's total hyperbole. It's not that big a deal. But I did love this article that you sent me and some of the implications around it. So why don't you set it up? Let's dive in. What are we talking about today?
Yeah. So this was something that's we kind of we've heard of the Great Resignation and quiet quitting and all the other fun things that are out there. And now there was talk about this shadow stand-in thing. So that's where employees are outsourcing their jobs or parts of their jobs to other people. And basically they will act kind of as mini agencies, I guess it would be. Like they turn, if they've got a job creating ads, let's say for somebody, that they then will hire somebody else to help them with the words, and they'll hire somebody else to help them with the creative, the pics and so on and so forth. And then they'll go out and get multiple, they'll apply and be working, like one person said they were working 5 American salary full paying jobs and outsourcing to the Philippines while themselves living in the Philippines and basically making a killing. Now, I guess all of the questions around that would be the employees don't know, the employers don't know in any of these situations as well. So is it dishonest? Is it okay? Do we not care because we're only paying for a result? Are we losing the value of what we think we should be getting when we pay a salary, when we're effectively not really getting the person that we pay the salary to? Lots and lots of issues around that. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of riff on it.
Yeah. I mean, did you have any initial thoughts as you were going through it?
I do, but since I introed it, why don't you give me your thoughts?
So I'm trying to approach this from the perspective of, my, kids are grown and they're coming back for Thanksgiving, and it's like, how's your job going? And they go, oh, it's amazing. I basically have outsourced my entire job. So I got this job and I'm making pretty good money, but I realized I can pay other people to do the work for me, and it freed up all my time. And so, yeah, it's really great. I'm trying to think if, as both a dad and an entrepreneur, a business owner, if I would be proud or if I would be annoyed. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized it does come down to this this idea of deception. Like, is this inherently deceptive? And I guess, the test that I did when I was thinking through it is, if this came up in a work setting, would you freely admit that you were doing this if asked? Would you be like, oh yeah, hey, I'm doing it if asked? And if no, then I think you have to admit that it's deceptive, that you are being intentionally, deceptive. So I don't think I buy the argument of, what, as we pay people to get stuff done, not necessarily to do it. Because that's on one hand, I think that's true, right? You pay people to get something done. You don't necessarily care how they do it, except you kind of do. And I think you do for a couple of reasons. The first is just privacy concerns. To the extent that there's any sort of, proprietary intellectual property, to the extent that somebody's dealing with any customer records or customer data, if somebody is giving that custody to somebody else, well, that's bad. So just right off the bat, we have to acknowledge that would be a big fat no-no. But also there's something to, I hired you in your particular, skill set, and I'm not getting that. I'm getting something less than. And if I'm hiring you to be a manager, then I want to know that you have the skills of a manager. I think a lot of these people who are attempting this are going to discover, as a lot of people do when they get into, when they start growing in their careers, that doing a task and managing other people to do that task are two fundamentally different things. And even a couple of people in the articles mentioned, like, it worked until I realized that the work product of the people I was outsourcing it to kind of sucked. Right.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back and like redo it again. So I think for a lot of reasons, the way that they're doing it, this idea of the shadow aspect of it, is just a bad idea. I think it's bad. I think it's dishonest. And I think if I discovered that somebody was doing it, I'd probably fire them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The other challenge that I have is that what I'm paying for when I hire an employee versus an agency is full access at any time during the work hours. And if you are running effectively an agency and you've got multiple people that you are owing your loyalty to, you're not going to be there when I need you. So I have a problem with the deceptive part of it. I have a problem with the fact that I won't have the access I need. And I have a problem with not knowing who's getting access to my stuff, because these people are giving their logins to lots of different people. And several of them said that they were working for different government jobs that had security access. And so now they've got security access or access to my stuff, and they're sending out the logins to their access to my stuff to people I don't know and that we don't, understand who they are or have any recourse to deal with or any. I mean, I think it's bad on all those fronts. As far as either like the what you get, I am much more results oriented. Like if I hire an employee to accomplish the following 5 things and they're giving me all of that work at the quality that we've agreed, then I'm not unhappy from that standpoint. But I definitely think that it's wrong to effectively, it'd be like you came and interviewed for a job with me and I'm like, holy crap, you're going to do my digital marketing and you're Ryan Deiss and look at your rep and all that kind of stuff. And then you're like, yeah, totally, man, I'm there, I'm for you. And then you give it to somebody in the Philippines. And now I think it also harms your reputation because it's like, man, I thought Ryan was really good at this stuff, but I mean, it seems like almost like it's a second language to him. It's like, I think you would definitely get that. And our experience with agencies time and time again is that they don't ever successfully scale because they can't get past the one person. And I'm saying most of the agencies we deal with, obviously there's giant agencies out there that, that are successful, but really it's, you get sold on a person who's going to deliver a result the way that they deliver it. And then you're not getting that. And that's who you interacted with. They represented that they were going to do it and they just flat out lied to you. But I think that you aren't getting what you were told you were going to get. You were lied to. And so I just have a problem with that generally. So that would be my biggest challenge with it. And all the other stuff, I mean, I like the idea of if you are the super employee, because we talk about this as a concept. You can have super employees where you go and hire a virtual person or a virtual assistant or somebody, in a foreign country or whatever, to help that person do their rote tasks. Or you empower them by giving them RPA, the robotic process automation, or AI to support what they do. I don't think we have any issue with any of that because we know what's going on. But truly outsourcing the core thing that I hired you for, I got a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go and read it again, we'll link up to the article itself if you want to search for it. Is the shadowy way new employees are cheating to get to the top, or the rise of shadow stand-ins. Again, we'll link it up in the notes. But just to hear some of the things that these people say and how they describe the work they do, it's just kind of gross, right? Like they've decided that they want to get one over on the man. And I think that's the mentality. I love this quote here. I'll read directly from the article. It says, others, like the Southern California developer Brandon Nowak, which never freaking hire this dude, have contemplated dipping their toe in the water. He told me that shadow stand-ins are an inevitable outcome to our system of making money. And this is his quote. Companies themselves are taking advantage of you by hiring you to do work which they reap more value from you than they give up. They're taking advantage of you because they're getting more value than they give up. That is the basis of capitalism. I'm not anti-capitalistic necessarily, but I don't fault anyone, myself included, for looking to turn those tables on the companies themselves. And he goes on to say, for-profit corporations are government-sanctioned psychopaths existing only to predatorially and parasitically earn profit. This is another person who said this. I don't want to credit, the other person. Like, corporations are owed no moral obligation whatsoever any more than a hen owns a fox moral consideration. The only rational response is to extract as much value as possible.
Which is
what a whiny, crybaby, communistic, woke little freaking snowflake. I hope this person gets fired, and it just is gross. So gross. So, I mean, I definitely have thoughts on this. What's your response?
Well, I mean, I think anyone who employs either of those people who have now identified themselves out in public is just asking for trouble. But what a childish concept to say that, number one, corporations are made up of people. So we're saying that, like, the people who are working at the corporation, whose jobs depend on managing and selecting good people to discharge the duties of the corporation, are going to be impacted if you lie, cheat, and steal from them. And the shareholders who invest in the company and the clients that the company sells, it's to me setting up this straw thing in the middle that absolves you from all responsibility to be truthful and a good human being. And the other gentleman, is truly it is that kind of communist concept of, like, there should be I should give no additional value, that I should take all of the value for myself.